Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very important rule, rule number 18. To attack the enemy king, you must first open up a file or less often a diagonal to attack your opponent's king, using your heavies such as the rooks and queens. Now this is a very important idea that does not get used a lot in amateur games. A lot of times we know that we need to attack our opponent, but we don't know how to break through. Very simple. If you ever have a big edge in development and you need to break through, we need to make pawn trades. This opens up files so your rooks or maybe your the diagonal so your bishops can get in. Let's take a look at a master lesson here with Paul Morphy. Here we go. We start off with e4, e5. In this game, Paul Morphy is playing with black. He's playing against Henry Bird, the Bird. And knight f3 gets played. Pawn d6. Philidor's defense, definitely not one of my favorites, but if I was going to play Philidor's defense, I would play it the exact same way that Morphy does. After d4 gets played, here Morphy plays Philidor's counter gambit with pawn to f5. Here we go. Knight c3, and the best way for black to continue, pawn takes on e4, knight takes on e4, d5, knight g3, e4, knight e5. I can't really be too mad about this, as well, white does have some good development with the knights over here, but black does control the center. And here Morphy just does the basics right here, just keeps developing pieces, and he's going to get a good game. Here we go. What's the next piece we want to move? Here, white is already threatening. Queen to h5 check. Let's develop a piece. Stop this idea. Yep, knight to f6 gets played. Bishop g5, looking maybe to get rid of this piece. That's okay. Let's go ahead and keep developing our pieces. What's the move we should play here? Well, we should definitely be looking at our dark square bishop, right? This is the next piece we need to move so we can castle. So, bishop d6, developing with the threat. Maybe we will take the knight. This is definitely the best square for the knight. Bishop b7 is not really needed, as the queen can just take back if they ever do take on f6. All right, knight h5. Here white tries to get aggressive here, putting pressure on the pin piece. Of course, we cannot take as the pin takes, but also there's a slight threat of knight takes g7 check here. So again, simple chess here. What do we need to do? Well, we developed the knight and bishop so that we could castle, so castle it is. And white continues with queen to d2. You can tell that Mr. Bird here had a very aggressive plan in mind. He's thinking about castling queenside, and yeah, he just has all his pieces ready over here to attack. All right, simple chess here with Morphy. He finds a very nice idea. He's going to try to get out of the pin, but also make a threat. So he's going to move his queen away and make a threat. Here he chooses a very nice queen to e8. So here, a double attack. He's attacking the e5 knight twice, but also putting pressure on this knight on h5. Well, Mr. Bird did not want to get left behind, so he plays pawn to g4. Very interesting gambit right here. There is a few different ways to win this pawn, or to win a pawn in this position. We have bishop takes on e5. We have knight takes on g4. Bishop takes on g4. We even have knight takes and queen takes. But in my opinion, there's only one best way to do this. And I definitely like the way that Morphy plays this. In this game, Morphy goes ahead and plays knight takes on g4 here, which I think is a good move because, well, here you're attacking the knight, but you're also threatening if the knight does take back, that you can take back with your bishop. Well, here there's some other ways that you can play. You can look about bishop takes on e5. I'm not liking this one particularly, as after pawn takes, queen takes. Here there's going to be pressure on this d file. Maybe knight takes f6 will be played in the future. And I think white's going to get some compensation with these lines. What else is there to look at? Knight takes on h5. This move is okay. After pawn takes, queen takes on h5. White's just going to want to go ahead and play bishop b2 and then castle queenside. Now they got this open g file. And if you have to lose a pawn on the board here, this is definitely not a bad one. Especially since it's opposite side castling, the missing g pawn actually could be beneficial for white here. So again, I just like the way that this was played. Knight takes on g4, takes, and then, well, if you take on g4, it develops the piece, but here, always make threats. Queen takes on h5, getting a nice tempo and putting pressure on both the pieces here. Here, the knight jumps back to e5, and let's keep developing. Let's keep making threats. Do you like knight to d7 here or knight to c6? Again, I really like Morphy's idea here. Which one do you like more? Nothing wrong. Both of these moves are good. Knight to d7, definitely a good move here. You're threatening to win a pawn right here. And of course, if takes, now you just finished your development. But remember, whenever you're attacking, you need open files and diagonals. So here, Morphy plays the very good move, knight to c6. If you don't take back, you're just losing. So here, if the knight does take on c6. Bishop b2 was played instead. But if the knight does take on c6, b takes c6, here you see that we'll have the open b file here so that we can try to attack the king whenever it does castle queenside. Obviously, this king is not going kingside as there's checkmate threats and pieces are already aimed over here. So if you do try to think about castling on the queen side, the king side is just not going to be a good idea. Don't castle into the attack. Here, white plays bishop b2, trying to get a tempo off the queen. And here, a very inspired idea by Morphy, queen to h3. Now here, some people are thinking, why would the queen come over here? We know that the king is going this way. Well, believe it or not, Morphy is planning on bringing the queen over to the queen's side, with a very cool idea. Well, here white continues with knight takes c6, b takes c6. So now we see we have open files here, open diagonals here. Morphy just is having a great position here because he knows the rules, especially with these pieces that are moving diagonally or going, up and down. They need those exact ideas, right? They need to make sure that they can have plenty of space to move around. And, well, white would like to castle right away, but if you castle right away, simple chess, what do we play here? Yeah, just rook takes on f2. Let's get greedy. A lot of people may think maybe we shouldn't take pawns, but you know what? If you take too many of their pawns, they're not going to have anything to play with. So like bishop b3, you know what? Let's just get greedy. Rook takes on h2 over here. Yes, maybe white will have some attacking ideas, but a few trades and this game is going to be an easy endgame to win. So white just plays nice and simple here and plays, before castling, bishop to e3. All right, let's develop the next piece. What should we play? Very simple chess. We know this king is going to the queen side, so Morphy thinks ahead and thinks about rook to b8. And now castles queenside. Oh my gosh, here we go. Here Morphy loves to make sacrifices. He loves to attack. He's already got ideas about bringing the queen over to the queen side, but where can you move your queen over here? Well, here we start off with the first spectacular move. Rook takes on f2. Bishop takes on f2, and can you find the move here? What was Morphy's idea? How can you bring your queen over to the queen side? Hopefully you found it. It's this beautiful queen to a3. Look at that. Another queen sacrifice here by Morphy. Here, white went ahead and played pawn to c3, which is the best defense, or the only defense. Of course, hopefully you saw that if the pawn takes, not too hard here. Just the bishop takes on a3, and now it's going to be checkmate. Oof, such a beautiful idea here. Whenever you can't even take it, and of course you're threatening to take on b2 yourself, and also maybe this a2 pawn over here. So pawn c3 was played. Morphy takes the pawn a2, and now pawn to b4. All right. Of course, we see with this move, white is hoping that, we can just trade off queens and, try to close this queen side as the b2 idea was already being threatened. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but, rook takes b2 is an idea here already, just winning, because if queen takes on b2, bishop a3 pins it and win it. Although, again, if you're just not playing the best moves here, the simple queen a1 check, king c2 is checkmate right away. Okay. So b4 gets played, pretty much forced, and now Morphy does some nice checks here. Queen to a1 check, king c2, queen a4 check, king b2, and this is actually the losing move here. If you just play king c1 here, well, I think Morphy would still continue the game here, maybe looking for pawn a5 to open up the king position here. But king b2 got played, and yeah, this game is just over. Black to move and win. What do you play here? Remember, if you want to attack, you got to get open files or diagonals, and Morphy knows exactly what to do. Bishop takes on b4, pawn takes, rook takes, and the queen has to sacrifice herself. Of course, any king move here is just going to be losing right away. If king c3, checkmate in one, don't mind if I do. If king c1, again, we see that similar checkmate from before. Queen a1 check, king c2, and we have, let's go with queen b2 checkmate. That looks a little bit nicer there. All right, so queen takes on b4, queen takes b4 check, and king to c2. Now, if you don't play this correctly, this could be a challenging game because, well, 2 rooks will equal the queen, and, well, the bishops cancel out, and the bishop over here. The only reason why this is winning is for 2 main ideas. Well, we have some extra pawns here, so maybe we can get a passed pawn across the board. But the other big important factor is that this king is so vulnerable. Now, the queen can never checkmate by herself, so we have to think, what's the next piece we want to move? It's definitely the bishop. All right, let's see if you find the right move here. Be careful. Think prophylactically, meaning always look what your opponent will do to stop your threats, or what your opponent will do to stop your ideas. All right, what are we doing? For those who said bishop f5, I'm sorry, this was just not the best move. You have the idea of playing e3 check. This is great. This is a beautiful idea. Fortunately, bishop e3 gets played, and black it will take a little while longer for black to get the bishop into the game. So you have the best idea, which is bishop f5, but you did not take into account that they can play bishop e3. Simple chess, what do we play? We haven't sacrificed enough this game. Pawn to e3. Of course, a clearance sacrifice. Bishop takes, bishop f5 check, rook to d3. Hey, why are we doing this? Well, all the other moves are losing. There really is no good move here. Let's see. Your king, if it goes to c1, well, checkmate in 1 here. Nice and simple. Queen c3 check and mate. Let's see. Wouldn't we just play bishop d3 here? Well, you put yourself into a pin. Do you see the move to win a piece here? Simple chess. Here we see the bishop pin right here. So queen c4 check gets played. And again, there's just no good moves here. King d2 will simply take. Or if you play king b2, bishop takes over here on d3. Okay, so what do we do now? Let's go ahead and play rook to d3. And now, again, as I say, it's just a matter of technique here. We're going to win this game. We just got to make sure we do it correctly. So you could take away right away on d3, but here, Morphy spots, hey, this rook is undefended. That's the main idea I want to do. Taking here, 3 pieces are actually stronger than the queen. Only because the king is unsafe and these pieces are unorganized is the reason why this game wins so fast. But again, if you let white organize these pieces, it can be very challenging for black to win here. So, queen c4 check, force moves. The king goes to d2. And only now do we play queen a2 check, king d1, and simple chess, queen to b1 check for a final skewer over here. Of course, if the bishop runs backwards, now we win a full piece with bishop takes on d3, bishop takes and queen takes check. And yeah, this bishop and rook, I mean, actually, you'd probably be losing this rook pretty soon because, yeah, queen f3 check is coming, and I don't see a good way to stop this. Of course, if king e1, we have queen e4 check, so everything is just going bad here. Some people say, you know, I didn't have any good moves. Well, when you're in losing positions, there are only bad moves, okay? All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Remember, to attack the enemy king, you must first open up files or diagonals. It's as simple as making pawn trades. I'll see you guys in the next video.